Your mind is not just a battlefield. It is the ground where your future is decided, thought by thought, breath by breath. Right now, as you watch this, your brain is firing thousands of signals. The past shapes some. Others are triggered by fear, anger, or regret. Most people let these patterns run on autopilot. They react, spiral, lash out, and call it just how I am. But the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." They understood something timeless. You cannot always control what happens, but you can control what happens next. Your brain is not fixed. It is moldable. What science now calls neuroplasticity, the Stoics practiced centuries ago by training their judgment, questioning their reactions, and reshaping their thoughts through discipline and self-control. The truth is that most people live like prisoners inside their own minds, haunted by the past, triggered by small things, reacting instead of responding. And the worst part is this: they do not even realize they are giving away their power. But today, that ends. In this video, you will learn 7 brutal Stoic truths. Each one is designed to challenge the lies your mind repeats and replace them with clarity, calm, and control. These are not shallow affirmations. They are tools, tested by time, proven by practice, and now supported by neuroscience. Each principle is a doorway to deeper mental mastery. Let us be clear, this is not about becoming cold or emotionless. It is about becoming intentional. Stoicism does not remove your feelings. It teaches you how to use them, instead of being used by them. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your experience or your biggest struggle below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, answer with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel. It is a circle of strength. If you are ready to reclaim control from the chaos, drop this in the comments. I control my mind. My mind does not control me. And share this video with someone still caught in their own spiral. Let us begin. 1. Let disappointment pass before you speak. Disappointment does not need your voice. It requires your patience. When something falls apart, your first instinct is to speak, to defend, to explain, to vent. But every word spoken from a wounded state is a word you will later wish you could take back. The Stoics understood this clearly. When unexpected pain hits, the first thing that speaks is not reason. It is hurt. That is not your wisdom talking. That is the ancient part of the brain reacting in panic, flooding your body with chemicals that cloud judgment. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." But that power only exists if you pause long enough to access it. This is why silence is sacred. Not silence born from weakness, but silence chosen from strength. You do not ignore disappointment. You give it space to breathe, to soften, to lose its edge. Because when you react while the emotion is sharp, you risk cutting others and yourself. In those first moments, something known as an amygdala hijack takes over. It is as if you hand the steering wheel of your mind to a frightened child. The part of your brain built for ancient survival floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline. You are no longer thinking clearly. You are reacting. Like standing in a smoke-filled room, everything becomes distorted and harder to see for what it truly is. Try this. The next time disappointment hits, take a 24-hour vow of silence. No texts, no confrontations, no major decisions. Just sit with it. Breathe. Picture disappointment like a storm cloud. Up close, it feels heavy and overwhelming, but with time, it always drifts. Watch how the story in your mind changes as distance grows. Ask yourself what part of this pain is real and what part is only fear echoing. Ask what this moment might be clearing space for. The Stoics practiced negative visualization to prepare for loss. You can use silence to recover from it. In the quiet after the storm, your reasoning returns. Your clarity comes back online. Options you could not see before begin to appear. And when you finally speak, your words will no longer be sharp fragments of emotion. They will be measured tools of clarity. At Stoic Daily, we believe silence is not suppression. It is self-mastery. Comment below. My silence is my strength. My response is my choice. 2. Don't let anger write your story. Anger screams. Wisdom listens. When that fire rises in your chest, the sharp breath, the clenched fists, the urge to strike back, it feels like clarity, but it is not. It is noise. Anger is the mind's alarm bell, signaling that something does not match your expectation. But that alarm was never meant to be your narrator. Epictetus understood this deeply. Born into slavery and stripped of freedom, he had every reason to let anger rule his life, but he did not. He taught this truth. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Anger is not your master unless you hand it control, and yet many people do. They live in constant reaction to traffic, to coworkers, to injustice. But what they are reacting to is not the world itself. It is the gap between expectation and reality. Anger is not a root emotion, it is a mask. Beneath it often lives fear, shame, hurt, or powerlessness. Because those feelings feel too exposed, the mind reaches for anger as a shield. It feels stronger, it feels safer, but here is the cost. When anger takes over, your body floods with stress hormones. Your nervous system shifts into survival mode. Thinking narrows, perspective collapses, creativity shuts down. You are no longer solving problems, you are only trying to survive. Nothing lasting or wise is built in that state. The Stoics trained themselves for this moment. They learned to observe their own minds, to watch anger rise like storm clouds in the distance, without chasing the thunder. Try this. The next time anger flares, pause. Instead of saying, "I am angry," say, "I am noticing anger." That single shift creates space. Then ask yourself, what is underneath this reaction? What expectation just broke? Is this emotion guiding me or taking control of me? Because anger is not the enemy. It is a signal, a request for awareness, not surrender. When you face it without feeding it, you regain authority. You can address what is wrong without becoming consumed by it. You get to decide which emotions take the wheel and which ones pass through. You do not need to extinguish the flame. You need to learn how to carry the torch without burning yourself or others. At Stoic Daily, we believe the mind is not ruled by emotion. It is led by awareness. Mastery begins the moment you stop letting anger speak for you. Comment below. I observe anger, I do not obey it. 3. Reset through the breath. You do not need to control the world. You only need to maintain your next breath. Stress never arrives loudly, it slips in quietly. One thought, one sharp comment, one small failure, and suddenly your mind is spiraling, but your breath is different. It is always with you, always within reach. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius would return to his breath and his thoughts before making decisions that could shake empires. He knew what most people forget. When the breath steadies, the mind comes home. Every emotion reshapes your breathing. Anxiety makes it shallow, anger makes it tight, overwhelm makes it disappear altogether. This is not random, it is biology. The moment your nervous system senses a threat, it shifts into survival mode. Your ancient brain takes control. Clarity fades, reason dims. You are no longer responding. You are reacting, but there is a way out. A manual override built into your body. It is the vagus nerve, and slow, intentional breathing is how you activate it. When you breathe deeply and steadily, you send a signal of safety, and the body responds. The heart rate slows, the muscles release. The thinking mind comes back online. This is not just calm returning. This is control being reclaimed. Try this. Close your eyes. Inhale through your nose for 4 slow counts. Hold the breath gently. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 counts. Repeat this cycle 3 times. This simple pattern resets your system. Use it when you feel overwhelmed. Use it before a difficult conversation. Use it when chaos starts to rise. Let the breath pull you back from the edge, but breathing is only the doorway. To fully own the moment, you must anchor your attention to the present. Most people live in moments that do not exist. They replay old wounds or predict future disasters. Meanwhile, the present, the only place where power lives, slips away unnoticed. The Stoics had a word for this capacity: prohairesis, the ability to choose your response in the moment. This is what the breath gives you: space. And inside that space lives freedom, presence, wisdom. So the next time pressure builds, do not push through unthinkingly. Pause, breathe, anchor yourself. Ask quietly, am I here in this moment, or am I lost in a story? Your breath is not just for survival, it is an act of self-command. At Stoic Daily, we believe mental strength begins with a single breath. Comment below. I return to the breath. I return to myself. 4. Stop replaying the pain. Your mind is not a cinema for suffering, so why do you keep buying tickets to the same painful scene? It always starts quietly, one thought, one image, and suddenly you are back in that moment. The argument, the mistake, the loss. Your body tightens, your heart races. You feel it all again, because your brain cannot distinguish between memory and reality. Every replay reopens the wound. Marcus Aurelius warned us plainly: confine yourself to the present. The Stoics understood something we still forget. Remembering is not always healing. Most of the time, it is reopening the pain. Each time you revisit a painful memory, the neural pathway deepens. Your brain strengthens it, like a trail that has been walked too many times. You do not just recall the moment, you relive it emotionally, chemically, and physically. Like a dark theater, your mind dims the present and projects the past onto the screen. But this film never changes, it never resolves. It traps you in the worst frame and replays it endlessly. The cost is always the same: your peace, your clarity, your presence. The brain is wired with a bias toward negativity. It amplifies what went wrong and silences what was neutral or good. What began as memory slowly turns into narrative, a loop of shame, a loop of anger, a loop of regret. But there is a way out. You do not need to destroy the projector. You only need to change the channel. Try this. The next time you notice your mind replaying a painful memory, pause. Name it calmly. I notice my mind wants to revisit that moment. Then ground yourself in the present. Look around and name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. This pulls your system out of mental time travel and back into now. Or use a simple mental image. Picture yourself holding a remote control. Change the channel. Shift your attention. Choose movement. Choose breath. Choose creation instead of repetition. Here is the truth. The past can inform you, but it must never imprison you. The Stoics warned against suffering over what cannot be changed. What you give your attention to grows. And every moment spent replaying pain is a moment taken from your real life. You are not a passive viewer. You are the operator of your mind. Direct it with intention. At Stoic Daily, we believe attention is your most valuable currency. Stop investing it in pain. Comment below. My past informs me. My present defines me. 5. Plant seeds, not weeds. Every word you speak, every choice you make, it is a seed. The only question is this: are you planting something that will nourish the world around you, or something that will slowly choke it? Most people live unaware of the garden they are tending. A careless insult here, a passive-aggressive jab there, and before long, their life becomes a field of weeds. Resentment, distrust, insecurity, all rooted in something they once said or did without thought. Seneca once said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." What he meant was this: your words and actions do not vanish. They echo, they ripple, they create. When you offer encouragement, you plant strength in someone's soul. When you speak truth with kindness, you plant respect. When you act with courage, you sow inspiration. But when you speak from anger or ego, when you react instead of respond, you plant weeds. They grow fast, they spread quietly, and they are difficult to remove once they have taken root. One harsh comment can become someone's inner voice for years. One careless line of sarcasm can turn into self-doubt in someone who once trusted you. Your words do not disappear. They take root in other people's minds and in your own. You are shaped not just by what you say once, but by what you repeatedly choose to say. Psychology calls this embodied cognition. Your actions shape your inner state. Speak with integrity, and you become more whole. Act with kindness, and you become more kind. Try this. For the next 7 days, before speaking or sending a message, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one question: is this planting a seed or a weed? If it is a seed, it brings truth, clarity, strength, and encouragement to move forward. If it is a weed, spite, sarcasm, division, pause, or reroute. This does not mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means handling them with precision and purpose. You can correct without condemning, set boundaries without cruelty, tell the truth without planting fear. Think about the people who shaped you, those who lifted you with a single sentence, those who helped you believe again when you doubted. Their seeds are still growing inside you, and now it is your turn to become that presence for someone else. At Stoic Daily, we believe what you plant today becomes the reality you live tomorrow. Comment below. Today, I choose to plant seeds. 6. Savor the moment. Rewrite the mind. Your brain was built for survival, not serenity. That is why you can replay an insult for weeks, but barely remember the warmth in someone's smile yesterday. Pain sticks, joy slips. We are wired to notice threats, not beauty. And unless we train otherwise, that wiring becomes our worldview. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience confirmed it. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." He knew power means nothing if you never pause to savor the light. Here is the paradox. Life offers you thousands of good moments every single day, but most of them pass like sand through open fingers. A laugh with someone you love, the warmth of the morning sun on your face, the calm after completing something hard. They happen, but you miss them. Why? Because your mind is already sprinting toward the next problem. Think of your mind like a camera. When pain appears, it instantly locks focus. It zooms in and sharpens every detail. But when joy arrives, the lens remains foggy. The image fades before it is even captured. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Modern science reveals that unless you maintain a positive moment of awareness for at least 12 seconds, your brain does not register it. That means most joy disappears before it becomes memory. The solution is simple. Stay with the moment. When something good happens, no matter how small, pause to appreciate it. Let it fill your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel in your chest? Try this. Tomorrow morning, when you sip your coffee, take a moment to savor it. Savor it. Notice the warmth on your hands. The aroma is rising. The way it anchors you in the present. That is not a small thing. That is, you are rewiring your mind to notice what is good. That is you building a vault of calm for future storms. Positive psychology calls this psychological capital. It is real, it is measurable, and it is what separates those who recover from setbacks from those who collapse under them. The more joy you store, the more strength you carry. And here is the quiet miracle. The more you train yourself to see beauty, the more beauty begins to appear, not because life changed, but because your attention did. This is not fake gratitude. This is a discipline of awareness. Slow down long enough for what is good to register, and when it does, it reshapes how you think, speak, and respond. At Stoic Daily, we believe joy is not something you wait for. It is something you practice noticing. Comment below. Today, I pause for the good. Then live that pause. One breath, one moment at a time. 7. Stop drifting. Anchor yourself in the now. Where is your mind right now? Is it still here with me or already racing toward tomorrow's tasks, last week's regrets, or next month's pressure? This is not a flaw. This is what the mind does. It wanders. But what the Stoics taught and what modern neuroscience confirms is simple. The only moment you can live, change, or master is this one. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." More than wealth, this is about peace. Peace is not found in perfect circumstances. It is found in the ability to inhabit the circumstances you are in fully. Most people are tourists in their own lives. Their bodies are present, but their minds are elsewhere. Watching a movie while thinking about emails, and eating a meal while scrolling through a phone. Life is not experienced directly, and it is filtered through constant commentary. But you can wake up from that. When you are truly present, colors appear brighter. Your breath deepens. Stress softens. This is not poetic language. It is biology. Brainwaves shift. Cortisol levels drop. Focus increases. You enter flow, not because life becomes easier, but because you've stopped resisting now. Here is a simple anchor. Throughout your day, ask yourself, where am I mentally? If you notice you have drifted into the past or the future, do not judge yourself. Return. Your body is your ally. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice the air on your skin. Sense your breath in your chest. This is presence in action. The Stoics practiced morning and evening reflection, but what mattered most was what happened between those rituals. The minute-by-minute return to now. Not perfection, presence. Not control of life, but connection to it. Try this for the next 24 hours. Do not multitask during small moments. When you eat, eat. When someone speaks, listen. When you walk, walk. This is how you reclaim reality. Presence will not solve every problem, but it will free you from the suffering of a mind that is never home. The only place peace is possible is here. The only place love is felt is here. The only place power exists is here. At Stoic Daily, we believe presence is the foundation of all power. Comment below. What usually pulls your mind out of the moment and what brings it back? Your next choice is your freedom. Your next thought is a turning point, a chance to reclaim the steering wheel of your mind. The Stoics did not teach passive reflection. They taught and practiced mastery, not someday, now. So pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what is one principle from today's journey that struck a nerve, that made you stop and reflect? That is where your practice begins. This is not about being perfect. It is about choosing wisely, one thought, one response, one moment at a time. The path to mental and emotional mastery is not built overnight. It is built in silence, in reflection, and in repetition. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where every inner victory counts, where your story, your insight, and your presence matter deeply. Drop your favorite principle below and let others know they are not walking this path alone. Share this with someone ready to stop reacting and start reclaiming. Subscribe for more Stoic tools that help you lead from within. Lock in this final affirmation. I am the master of my thoughts, the author of my responses, and the creator of my peace.
If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel, Stoic Philosophy Daily.